Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Peak to Middle School. My name is Narwhal. I am here with Big Chug.
Yes, you are.
And Big J Shim Fit.
Yes, that's me.
Yes, Shim, the people miss you, dude. You haven't been on forever.
Yeah, we've been busy. Schedules haven't matched up.
Yeah, but
and we've been golfing a lot on the weekends too. So
weekends are strictly golf.
Strictly business.
We'll talk more about golf in a little bit. But in your whole life, if you were to bet for 50 years and you won 40% of your bets, you lose money.
Parlays are different. You wouldn't lose money with parlays.
Okay.
No, because if I hit on like 40% of my parlays,
yeah.
But if the parlay could pay out like $100.
Yeah, but if you're losing 40% of your regular bets, then that's or no, if you're winning 40% of your regular bets, that's bad.
But like
unless
statistically, is winning 40% of your parlays even realistic? Like, is that even possible?
I don't know.
No.
I know that the best professional sports gamblers, they win a little over 50% of their bets.
But do they do
even
parlays
when I pick
mostly?
I don't know. Probably,
even when I pick all the favorites, one team always upsets me. It's always one team at the very end of the day.
How parlays work, yeah.
It's always at the end of the day, the last team to play.
Yeah.
Do you think that, like, with betting, do you feel like there's like some higher, not like God really, but
the betting gods?
But do you feel like there's some spiritual, like, if you really need this, like, that they're gonna, the universe
I think there's
is gonna
like a
help you
Buffalo
out?
Wild Wings button, and it's like fuck them up.
Yeah.
Oh.
The sprinkler comes out.
Sprinkler comes out,
the guy in the head.
I forgot about that commercial.
Yeah, that was when
That was
Buffalo
such a
Wild
good
Wings was
idea.
good
Yeah.
and tasted decent.
What, are they bad now?
I don't like their wings compared to like Wingstop and like Wing Dome.
Yeah, but I mean, you're not going to like. I don't think you're expecting great wings at Buffalo Wild Wings.
It's called Buffalo Wild Wings. They should be some wild fucking wings.
But they're not like top tier wings. They're wings.
But that used to be top tier to me.
They're only top tier because there's wings, beer, and sports. Like that's.
Well, then what are at the top? What is like the pinnacle of wings?
I don't know. There's a probably really good wing place though. I mean, if you go to Buffalo, you just get wings.
That should be our next thing for the summer.
Just
Finding
try
the
it.
best wings.
All the wings.
Dude, I'd be down to try and find the best wings in Seattle because I've never liked them that much. But I feel like if someone just like a little mom and pop place where they made them good.
Yeah.
I just don't think we have a lot of wings. Seattle's not a wing city.
Yeah.
We'd have to go to like the East Coast probably.
East Coast, yeah,
Like
maybe
Louisiana.
yeah, or maybe in the south.
Oh, south.
East Coast, yeah. I mean Buffalo, they have. Apparently, they don't call them buffalo wings. They just call them
wings. Yeah.
But like the term buffalo wings is generally means
Buffalo.
they're spicy.
Well, it's a certain
certain
sauce, yeah.
flavor.
Yeah. And there was there was one time Kyle and I made wings like a week ago, and I was like, oh, I like the buffalo. I couldn't handle the buffalo.
Yeah, too much.
Yeah, it's like I can't handle spice, but I need a little spice. It's like the Chick-fil-A spicy sandwich.
Yeah.
It's like this is exactly the flavor I need, but it's making me sweat.
Like the early bites of the spicy Chick-fil-A, it'll
Those
get
are too
me.
much for you?
The early bites, yeah. If I'm not expecting,
I'm confused though because I thought you were really into spicy stuff. Like, don't you like the Flamin' Hots and
Yeah, but I always
peppers
sweat
and stuff?
profusely.
Oh,
I need to like take a cold shower afterwards.
Okay.
Like ramen.
Yeah.
Need to take a shower after ramen.
Yeah.
spicy ramen doesn't seem like that would be good
What do you mean?
because you're just drinking hot, warm.
Well, it's
I
not
don't
like
know,
shitty
spicy.
ramen.
Well, I know it
it's
tastes
like
good.
like high quality ramen,
Yeah,
which
no.
is kind of
But I just feel
flavorful.
like a spicy, almost liquid seems painful.
I feel like when you eat ramen, you're eating it more for the noodles than the
Yeah,
broth.
I'm not gonna be drinking the broth. I know some people do
I
that.
mean, aren't you supposed to do that?
I don't know.
Wait, is spice not a big part of like Korean cuisine?
It is.
It is.
Ryan loves it.
So are you just like the one in the family? Who's
Yeah,
not as
me and my dad will sweat a ton when we eat it. We're hella like not Asian, we're like white Asian.
So like kimchi is not really spicy.
You can get really spicy kimchi, or you can get like mild. I can handle the mild, kinda.
Dude, every time we order like Thai food or any sort of like Asian cuisine, and they ask,
I get no stars. I say 0.
you get 0?
Dude.
I feel bad. I feel too lame if I get 0.
get
Oh,
0.
I always say 0 too. But I have a cousin that I don't know if you guys know people that always try to prove themselves with spice. Like he always tries to prove himself, and he'll always get like 3 or 4 stars. And I'm like, dude, why?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I love the spice, and then he eats like 3 bites, and he's like, whoa, I don't know, man, it's pretty spicy. And then he gets it to go, and then he doesn't eat it later. And I'm like, dude, you could have just gotten way less stars. No one would have cared. You didn't need to prove yourself.
Yeah. And it's like, it's harder. Like, I can get it down if it's spicy.
Nope.
but it's not even enjoyable. Like I feel like you lose all the fun of eating because you're like,
yeah.
My sister will always get, like, if she orders with us, she'll get some stuff that's 1 star and then some that's 2, and the 2-star fucks me up. So, does it go all the way up to 5?
I don't even know.
I think 5 is the max. Yeah.
I would never go above 1. I've never even tried 1.
And what's crazy is, like, don't people say that if you have cuisine where you always eat spicy, then the spice like
diminishes?
Well, like it doesn't affect you as much.
Yeah,
and
but
so
it
then
doesn't.
if you eat food without spice, it
not
doesn't
true.
taste good. Is that not true?
I've tried it.
What?
I tried it for years of my life.
Eating
Trying to eat spicy Korean food.
Yeah, but I think as you get older, you can handle spice better too. Like I can handle spice better than when I was little.
Oh yeah, well he's way older than you.
Yeah.
So
and
he
that's
would know
true.
from his life experience.
But I actually have a sweating problem, dude. Like I need a towel.
You have
I
a sweating problem.
I need a bath.
we all have sweating problems.
I need a bath towel when I eat spicy things.
I just need a bath towel always when I podcast and when I play video games.
Yeah, but like
And
what's
drive.
weird is that at the gym,
Yeah,
you don't sweat nearly as much as me or Shim.
Yeah, that's
but
true.
Just in like sitting doing nothing, you sweat a lot.
Yeah, I mean, if I do cardio, I sweat a lot more.
Do you, Shim? Do you sweat when you like sit and do nothing? Will you ever, like when you're playing Xbox, will you sweat in your
Xbox,
pits?
or if I'm if I have to like meet with my manager for like a big thing, or back when I went to school, like a big speech, just sitting in my chair, I'm just drenched in sweat. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Dude, my hands get so bad. My hands yesterday at work, it's really warm where I work for some reason. Like our floor is super warm. My hands were just sopping the whole time, and I was typing on my computer, and it was just getting wet all over my computer. I'm like, this is fucking gross.
And then your mouse also, like you
Yeah.
lift your hand up and there's just like sweat on it.
That's disgusting.
Is it weird that, like, do you ever use a mouse in your day-to-day life anymore?
Yeah. At the
Really?
gym, we use mice.
Oh yeah, I guess because
We use
anytime, yeah,
Mice?
yeah, that makes sense.
We have desktops,
Okay.
and then, but no.
But outside of work,
Outside
there's
of work,
no
I
reason.
honestly stopped going on my laptop. I have no reason to go on my laptop anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, the only reason I'm on my laptop is PIMS stuff usually.
yeah. I wonder if there'll be a time where laptops are just become unnecessary. It's
Yeah.
either you have like a computer for like stuff that you just need a computer for, or you just use your phone.
Yeah, but I mean, a laptop's nice though because you can bring it around.
Yeah, but
Phone-
I don't need to bring my laptop around anymore because I'm not in school.
Yeah.
But like, what if phones got to the point where, I don't know, like if you need a bigger screen or something, your phone can just like virtually project a bigger screen.
That's like
or something.
That would be cool, but that's harder for security.
Microsoft. What was it called?
Oh,
not Microsoft.
that bubble thing that was the big ball, and they were like fucking doing
that
shit
YouTube
with
video I sent one day.
Oh, where you're saying it projects onto like a table.
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
Swipe.
it. There was like people's faces were coming on. It was weird.
People were coming on faces.
Yeah, people were.
Damn.
It was a Microsoft commercial, and they're all just like, ah.
Something that you texted the group chat, Shim, a couple weeks ago that I wanted to talk about on the show with you is you found like. You found like weed that's basically like powder that you snort.
It's called the Cannabump. It's like cannabis, but Cannabump.
What the fuck is that?
Why would people want that?
I don't know. One of my friends from college sent it to me, and he said, "Boys, this is the future."
No,
And
how?
it's like,
No.
apparently, it's like 600 milligrams of THC in that little container, and it's meant to be snorted. It's not like it's powder that's meant to be snorted. But it's like THC infused, not cocaine infused. You know
But
what
I
I'm
don't
saying?
understand the like meant to be snorted things. Like,
Yeah,
nothing
I
should be
don't-
snorted.
I don't really get that either.
It can't be good for you.
And all my friends in the group chat were like, "No fucking way, that's real. Like, that's so funny though." And he's like, "No, boys, like my friends from Illinois back home, like they got stuff from Cali, like in California."
Oh.
And I was like, wait. So this is a real thing. And he was saying, yeah, like one line or like one little bump, because it's called a can of bump. So like one little serving of a bump
Okay.
Gets you high.
is equivalent to like 200 milligrams of THC. So like,
Holy shit.
imagine that little candy edibles we take, like those are like 10.
Yeah.
A little bump is like apparently like 200.
So it's 20. It's
So-
like
It's like
20
20
edibles.
of the edibles that
God.
we eat.
You ha- I just feel like
How much is like a bump?
I don't know, because the thing was just like a little tube,
Little powder container, yeah.
yeah.
But like but when you buy the container, it's meant where like you don't do the whole container.
No,
Like is one serving one container?
I think one serving is like
That's
a
a lot
third
of
of a
stuff to
container.
snort.
I think one serving is a third of a container, so maybe a generous bump,
Okay.
maybe a pretty generous little mound.
You have to be so dedicated to like wanting to get high to snort something.
But I bet you it's straight to the dome, dude.
Yeah, sure.
I bet you like it's immediately you're on just Mars, and
like,
looking at yourself in
maybe-
in the third world.
Okay, yeah, maybe. But maybe it's like an easier way for like cocaine addicts that maybe they have the there's like the oral fixation, maybe there's like a
maybe
nasal
the
fixation.
nasal fixation.
And they need to snort stuff, and then weed's better than cocaine. Maybe that's like their
Weed
way
is better
of
than cocaine.
weaning off of coke. I don't know.
When they try and quit drugs, they just like walk around snorting other shit to like get their fix in.
Smarties.
Yeah, so it's essentially like the same way that what am I trying to say? So you can get like people now can get like straight THC, right?
Yeah, it's getting to that point.
And is this essentially the same concept where it's like
I think so. I still need to verify
Research
the
it
vibe.
more.
I just need to see like how legit this is.
yeah. But do you think you'd try it if
I
you
would try it. I would try a whole thing.
Just stick a straw and just like, going all the way down.
Yeah. But guys, Shim's experience, so I don't
Yeah.
recommend you guys try snorting things at all.
No.
I
but
just think you should just not snort things. I don't know. That's just
Yeah.
my personal philosophy.
it's just
Unless it's Benadryl.
What?
Yeah.
yeah.
People snort
That
Benadryl?
shit rocks.
What?
Yeah, you ever tried it?
No.
Oh.
Okay.
You're acting like you tried snorting Benadryl.
Yeah.
Have you snorted Benadryl?
Nah, I'm kidding.
All right.
I'm actually kidding. That sounded really bad. I'm actually kidding.
Yeah,
But
guys.
are people snorting Benadryl?
No,
don't
people are not
don't
snorting
snort
Benadryl.
God, people just not snort things.
Um,
It's never been appealing.
it's so weird that, like, first of all, I don't get how that would get you high because when you snort cocaine, how does it get you high going when you snort things?
It goes.
tickles your brain. I don't know.
I guess I could. Why don't I just Google this? This could be educational.
I've had it explained to me, and then I forgot because I was drunk.
'Cause I was on cocaine.
because he snorted Benadryl. Why does snorting
John's shirt
things?
kind
Huh?
of hurts my eyes. Like your shirt is like those things you see on sometimes on TikTok or on YouTube where it's like stare at this for like a long time and then look away. That's how your shirt is. Like
Yeah.
I get lost in your shirt and it overwhelms me. It's
Yeah.
very
how many
overwhelming.
lines is on his shirt?
Oh,
Wow.
2200.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I
Very
counted it.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
No. So, wait. Also, I don't want to forget, but I've noticed that when I wear striped shirts like this, when I edit, have you ever noticed when you're editing, like the pixels get
It
confused?
goes woo 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 woo.
Yeah,
woo,
it gets
woo.
Yeah.
like really weird because the
Well, that-
camera can't like figure out what's going on.
That's how my eyes are right now. They're not. They can't focus on your shirt.
Yeah.
It's like glowing.
Okay, the truth about snorting drugs. This is mainly telling me like why you shouldn't snort drugs, but like
That's good.
that's not
good.
what I'm trying to.
Shout out Google.
Google with
Difference
the good
between
advice.
swallowing and snorting drugs.
I think it just hits your brain.
Swallowing and
faster.
snorting drugs are both very popular methods. Dangers of snorting drugs to get high. Snorting drugs are the practice of sniffing any powdered substance through the nose, whether it is already in a powdered form or it is crushed into a powder substance. When you snort drugs, the way the drug is administered to the brain is different than when you swallow them. Snorting a drug requires the drug to be absorbed through the nasal membrane and goes into the surrounding blood vessels. So you got some membrane back in here that then it puts it
and
straight
it probably
in your
goes
blood.
like straight to the hypothalamus because it's like right there on the prefrontal cortex or whatever.
What's hypothalamus?
Parts of your brain, you know,
I know that word. I don't know what it does.
like the prefrontal cortex and shit. I'm just trying to sound smart,
You're just
guys.
trying to-
The
you're just trying to throw
amygdala.
it late, but you don't know what they do.
The
dude.
amygdala.
Nice.
One of them is responsible for like memory.
Parietal lobe.
Right?
Whoa.
Yes.
I learned a lot about the brain.
Yes,
there's
dude.
the cerebellum. There's the
Yeah.
cerebrum.
We're on
there's
fire
the,
right now.
Prefrontal cortex. There's the frontal cortex. There's
Damn.
some other things.
Ooh.
Hippocampus is memory.
Damn, shout out to the King County public education
You
system.
bet.
Dude, there's this guy on TikTok that I've seen that's like popular by because he takes anything that people put in the comments. They're like, eat a fucking camera lens, and he's like, okay, and so he smashes things down, and then he films himself smashing and smashing, and then he has the machine where it basically grounds anything into a powder, like into a dust. Then he puts water in, and he turns these things into basically like patties. It looks like a hamburger patty
disgusting.
of anything, and then he just eats it.
That's so...
And because he's ground it up so much, it doesn't like cut open his stomach.
Okay,
I'm sure
it doesn't cut open his stomach, but he's...
Think about a camera lens. How much powder would that be? Like, I don't know relatively how much powder that is, but I can't imagine having that in your system is good for you. Also, this guy is just like, he's Shoe Nice, but way wimpier because he's grounding it up. Shoe Nice would be like, they'd be like, eat a deodorant, and he would just fucking scroll that bitch up and then just eat a piece of deodorant.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That guy was a
gross.
legend.
And do you remember...
You eat lotion.
Did you guys ever have those like Guinness World Record books growing up?
Yeah.
The one, I think I had one from like 2008 or 2006, and it was this guy who like eats parts of airplanes or like bicycles.
Yeah, he
and
like
just
ate a
metal.
whole. This guy like ate a whole car.
Yeah. And so I
Why?
think this is like the new version of that, where technically you can do it. It's just, I don't know what happens to your digestive tract when it's trying to process that.
Can't be anything good.
No, I mean it's probably a bunch of like fiberglass and shit.
There's
The camera
zero,
lens.
literally zero nutrients. It's not even food. That's
No,
not
there's some like protein and carbs in like a camera lens.
Oh, for sure.
Shim,
Some zinc and magnesium in a camera lens.
Yeah, there's some
Yeah,
metal,
at least
heavy
there's
metals.
some minerals.
Some heavy metals.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get your zinc and magnesium,
Yeah.
like you said.
And lead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eat a pencil.
That's how he saves money. He doesn't
Yeah.
go to GNC. He just eats a camera lens.
Yeah. Wait, lead. Isn't lead poisonous?
Lead's very poisonous.
Oh.
Same with mercury.
Mercury.
That's probably both in a camera lens.
I think my dad said he used to like. He grew up in California, and they used to have mercury mines, and they would just go like play with the mercury.
With your hands?
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I think
That
that was
can't
before they
be
knew it was
good.
bad. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it can't be good. But he said that they would just like play with the.
what the fuck?
Maybe I misheard him, but I understood that he was playing, casually playing with mercury.
I wouldn't put it past him.
I don't know.
Shim, do you feel like since you know, now you're like a certified trainer and that you're just very, very into fitness for so many years, do you feel like when you eat food, you like view it differently than the average person because you are more aware of like what the different aspects of this food do for you?
Yeah. I'd say I've taken a big step forward in like nutrition and gut health. Kyle knows I'm a big gut health guy
Yeah,
now.
except we had that Domino's pizza the other night.
Yeah.
Did you feel
Yeah.
bad?
Okay. Yeah. And we had to have it
And then we
last
had
night.
and a milkshake. Yeah.
You know, cheat days,
Cheat weekend.
cheat weekend, whatever. Anyways, the past couple months, I've been certified for a little bit now, like almost a year. But past couple months specifically, I've learned a lot about the gut biome and just the foods that like how foods affect you and your gut specifically.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I've taken much more precautions in like what I eat and put into my body and like how it affects me. But before, even when I was like first got certified, I was like, oh, just get my macros, just get the carbs and protein,
Yeah.
and that's all I need.
And so what's different about your approach now?
Um,
Because you're still trying to hit those same
yeah,
macros.
yeah, and like I ate pizza 2 days ago. It was whatever, but like now I have out of my on average I have 4 meals a day, and out of the 4 I have at least 2 with greens. Like greens are like going to be like 2/3 of that meal. And so, or like not 2/3, maybe like 50%.
Yeah.
Maybe like 30.
No, because I pack a fat ass salad, and then I'll have like
The man eats a lot of salad.
yeah, dude, a lot of salad.
Is
And then
it-
and then I have a smoothie when I get home, like fruit, avocado, more spinach,
Yeah.
and then I've stopped buying the frozen food so often, and I've started to try and make more like whole food.
Yeah.
And so I started cooking with onions now, guys. Like,
Hey.
So-
I'm in the produce section now.
Okay, question for you. We were talking about in the last episode about onions. So do they affect your eyes? Like when you're cutting
onions
onions,
make you
Oh.
cry?
do they make you cry?
It depends on how close I get.
Okay, because apparently there's some hack where you can like dampen a paper towel and like put it next to your onion, and then it doesn't affect your eyes.
Yeah. Next time you cook with onions, get a paper towel wet and just set it on the counter next to you cutting, and it won't make you cry because there's a chemical in the onions that's attracted to the closest water source.
What?
So it just goes on.
And it goes to your eyes normally because that's the closest water.
No way.
Or you could just wear goggles.
Yeah, Kyle was trying to defend that just wearing goggles would be
Wear some
better.
Speedo goggles.
Yeah, if you just wear swim goggles, your eyes aren't gonna water.
That's true.
And then you'll look cool in the kitchen.
I tear up with onions sometimes if I get too close, or if I get too if I'm cutting them too vigorously.
Yeah.
I'm just going ham, and like all the juices just start coming up into my eyes.
Squirting into his
Yeah,
eyes.
exactly.
Coming in his eyes.
Coming in my eyes.
Gross. You guys ever eaten an onion?
No.
Yeah, I've eaten
Raw.
an onion.
Like raw, like just raw dogged an
No.
onion like an apple.
No, Morgan
Not a
has.
psycho.
I had to do that once when I lost a bet. It was really gross.
The whole onion or just one chunk?
I ate a half.
Oh, you finished it.
Me and Brian
Damn.
split an onion. It sucked. It was horrible.
Can't be that. Like
It was just like so not good. It doesn't taste good. It tasted like I just wanted to throw up the whole time, but like I couldn't throw up. I was just like at the step right before where you're gonna throw up, but you
Yeah.
can kind of get it down. That's how it was.
it's like how when you eat eggs sometimes.
Yeah, it's like eggs. And
Yeah.
the next day, dude, 2 days, my breath smelled bad. I could taste it. It just did. I brushed my teeth for
on my tongue.
like 10 minutes. I
Catch
brushed
my
my
nugget.
teeth, and it just tasted like onions, and it was fucking gross.
Bro, I saw so the other episode I mentioned how like recently eggs just like I used to like them, but recently my taste buds have been changing and
Dude, same.
Maybe you're
I saw
pregnant.
TikTok that went viral and it had like 200,000 likes and it was a guy like, "Hey, I don't know if anyone else has been feeling this way lately, but he's like, I don't know what's going on, but like does anyone else like someday you eat eggs and you love them and then other days you eat eggs and they make you want to vomit?"
Like, literally vomit.
And I was like, and like everybody was saying, "Holy shit, this happens to me too."
Yeah.
So what's going on with the eggs?
Maybe we're throwing some hormones in those eggs.
You know, that makes me think too because apparently, you know how they say like naturally and artificially flavored?
Yeah.
Apparently, like the flavoring is coming from the same shit. It's just in how it's processed in a lab. And so the natural flavor, I was reading, the natural flavor is going to taste the same as the artificial flavor if you were given one sample of each and you didn't know which one it was. So you'd be like, oh, I don't know, this is the same.
But the artificial one has more chemicals in it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
And so with, you know, like Runts, the candy.
Yeah.
Um,
Like how he has to clarify the candy, not the marijuana strain.
Yeah.
the
They're
the
gross.
candy.
The worst candy ever.
The bananas, you know, I just recently learned this. The banana, it's very, very sweet flavor. And it almost doesn't taste like a natural banana these days. But back then it was like, oh, that shit is the best banana flavor. Like that actually tastes like a banana. And like Laffy Taffy is a way sweeter banana. Like
Yeah.
that shit is a way sweeter banana. And like back then we were like, oh, that's banana flavor. And now we're like, this shit is so bad and like
Wait,
doesn't taste real.
Does that mean bananas, the taste of bananas have changed?
No.
Yep.
Just
that's
the
exactly,
artificial flavor.
That's exactly where I'm going.
Yeah, like the artificial flavor of
No,
banana
no,
is not
like-
even close. Is that what you're saying?
No, like
Oh, fuck.
The candy doesn't taste like
candy,
banana.
like 10 years ago when Runts, because Runts aren't made anymore, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like they didn't change the banana flavoring. They still use it from like 10 years ago when they opened and started. The flavoring back then of bananas was way sweeter than it is now because of the genetic modifications we have used on bananas. So now when we eat a regular banana, it's like
It doesn't
lighter.
taste like how
it's
the
lighter
candy-
and not as sweet.
Whoa. So it was because we were using more flavors back then, or
No,
or-
it's just because
or
of
because-
how we've modified fruits. Like we take like if an apple gets a disease, we throw that apple out and we take the best apple's genes and we keep on using that as like farmers to because they have
Yeah,
the best
yeah.
genes. They're not going to get diseases and they're not going to get.
But
you
so
know-
that fucks up the flavoring.
yeah, because we're just picking. We're literally picking.
They're
apples.
genetically
Yeah.
picking which ones.
We're not. Maybe we're not genetically modifying them, but we're genetically picking them.
Yeah,
But
picking the master race.
But wouldn't that make
of
them
apples.
taste better though?
they're always going to be starting to taste different because we're losing some apples flavoring. Like some apples will taste sweeter maybe. Like for an example, like
Okay.
some apples might taste sweeter, but if they get a disease, we're going to toss that one out,
Okay.
you know? And so that's what I recently read about and learned.
Interesting.
But I also
And-
feel like banana flavor has just never tasted like bananas or grape.
But that's kind of his point, is that maybe when those candies were made, they tasted pretty accurate to what bananas tasted like at the time, and now
they don't even taste real.
That's crazy. Cause there's no way we could prove what a banana tasted like 10 years ago.
We don't have a,
you know?
we don't have like a banana from 15 years ago because they go bad in like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Bro, that clip out of context, if someone just heard, dude, we can't tell what a banana tasted like from 10 years ago.
It's true. We can't. No, that's because it's like it's all relative. We could all maybe we all think that our bananas were sweeter, but they're not. Like I'm sure what you're saying about the banana thing is right, and maybe the taste is changing. But I am saying there's no way we could really know without testing the DNA, which we probably could.
Oh yeah.
But in terms of taste, documented taste, it's kind of hard to document taste, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. But it does make sense, the fact that we do genetically, or we pick the best genes of fruits, like the best ones that don't have diseases. And so taste would change over time. What
if our taste buds have changed and not the bananas?
Oh.
Maybe because we've been eating too much processed shit, it kills your taste buds.
Yeah. Whoa. Maybe it's our tongue that's changing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if you like did an experiment where you only ate the same exact foods. Well, my sister told me, this is wild, but she has a friend that like intentionally eats the same stuff for breakfast every day, lunch every day, snack every day, dinner for every day. And like they believe there's like science behind kind of building up like a consistency that your gut and that your body becomes used to, so it knows how to, like, if you do it for a long time, the body knows what to expect and how to break it down in the most efficient way because you're giving it the same thing at the same times every day.
Dude, I couldn't do that.
But like, you're a robot.
I know.
You're a literal robot.
Or a dog. You're just
4 p.m. trying to eat my almonds and my glass of water.
I just wonder what do they eat? I would love to know their daily diet and what they're eating every single day.
I mean, it's like they like cook it all themselves, and it's like good. From what I've heard, it sounds like it's good food, but still, I just feel like I would get super bored, and then it's like, and I think a large part of life, I think enjoying food is a solid like 15% of life.
40% for me.
50. Okay. I feel like going on vacation, food is a huge part for me.
Yeah. What's weird about
I have to get good food.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I have nothing else to say.
Oh, okay. I feel bad because I just am very like antsy, and I've realized when I'm editing sometimes that I just like cut you off too much.
I do the
feel
same
bad.
thing though.
But fuck, I don't know what I was gonna say. Wait, what did you just say? Oh.
I don't know.
Going on vacation. It's so weird because a large part of like occasions or special days are all based on food.
Yeah.
Like a special day for someone's birthday or something. It's all based on like, what are we going to do for breakfast? And then the stuff in between breakfast and like the dinner aren't that important because your whole day revolves around like getting to a restaurant at a certain time and like.
Unless we're just playing a par 3 and shooting bombs.
What?
How does that change the scenario?
Then we're not focused on food.
Oh, yeah.
And we're just focused on golf.
Okay. That was so off topic.
We're not focused on. Wait, what? Can you say that again?
Where did that come from? What does that relate to? I'm confused.
Nothing.
He's just saying if he's having the round of his life.
I'm just saying, like, you know, we're just talking about special occasions. If it was someone's birthday and we're playing a par 3, we're not focused on food.
Okay.
Focused on golf.
Okay.
Just wanted to say that.
But I think it's interesting how different cultures, like how they view food. Like in Europe, just if you go to like Italy or something, their dinner or their day just revolves so much around family meals and like taking a break from everything and just eating food. And like they have these big ass 4-course, 5-course meals, and they take breaks and like walks and shit in the middle of their meal. It's just like all revolves around eating, and they come back together and eat more, and then take a break and then eat more.
But it's like
awesome.
I feel like that's such a huge chunk of my day is dedicated.
But it's all with their family, and that's their family time together.
Yeah, And that sounds cool. But it always blows my mind in movies when there's like, I don't know, more traditional, I put air quotes because like traditional is relative, I guess, but like traditional household norms where like the male figure goes to work and like the wife prepares food or whatever. And I've noticed that in a lot of these like older movies, the women would start preparing dinner at like noon, like their whole day. A lot
dinner.
of women, well, or it's like breakfast, and then as soon as the kids are gone, then they're prepping lunch, or then they're prepping dinner. I'm like, holy shit, a lot of people, their whole day is focused on just like prepping and preparing food because you need to.
Yeah, I mean, that's like the stay-at-home like job kind of thing, is probably just cleaning around the house, running errands, and then making food.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know.
It's just wild that there's things that like water, food, and sleep, our whole life will always revolve around those, and there's no way to avoid it, really.
Yeah, shelter.
We need to make a water.
Basic need, Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
And then there's, what was it, like love?
I don't need love.
No, I think love is at the
No, I think love was like bottom. Love shouldn't be at the top.
No,
No, self,
it is.
whatever. I'm going to find
No,
this.
first it's survival. And
Yeah, yeah,
love
yeah.
isn't part of survival.
Yeah, then it's like love. Let me
No. Love is definitely not the
Love
second
is like the
thing.
last thing. Like love is not a priority.
It's the third one. So it's physiological needs, so like food, water, warmth, rest. Then it's safety needs, so security and safety.
yeah.
So I'm assuming that's like shelter. And then it's belonging and love. Then it's esteem, and then it's self-actualization. So I don't know.
Shout out Abraham.
Huh? Did Abraham make that?
Maslow.
Isn't it?
Is that
his
his name?
Is his name Abraham?
I thought you were
Abraham?
referring to like the Abraham of
Lincoln.
like
Isn't that
Judaism.
his name?
Something Maslow. Maslow's first name. All right, let's find
Isn't
out.
it Abraham?
I don't think it's.
I don't think it's Abraham. The only Abraham I know
Wow,
is like,
it is Abraham.
Fuck you.
Okay, shout out Abraham.
Shout out
Shout
Abraham.
bro, Jordan, you know the weirdest like
Yeah.
some things that I would expect most people to know you don't know, and then you just know things like this.
Yeah, dude.
If I had to bet all the money I had that Jordan doesn't know the first name of Maslow, I would have made that bet.
Yeah. I would have taken all your money.
Yeah. But wait, so going back to food real quick, I don't know, I feel like a lot of people, they view food as, and like myself included, they view food as, you know generally what's healthy, what's unhealthy, and like as I've like been friends with you, I've learned more and more of like what this does and what that does. But I don't know, like do you feel like your approach of eating something healthy or unhealthy has changed in the last like year or so, in the sense that like if you're going to eat something unhealthy, something that's like just straight up ice cream or something, do you feel like mentally you approach it differently, whether it be like you're more okay with it because you know exactly what's going to happen, or like maybe you haven't eaten that much sugar so you know that you can have this and it's going to be okay, or
Yeah.
or do you
I would
you think you view it differently?
I would
than,
definitely agree with what you just said, because before I used to stress out and I was like, oh shit, I need to do this much of cardio. I need to burn this amount of calories. I need to get back on my macros. I need to do this if I ate bad. And then now it's like, now I don't really stress about it, just because I know how to get back on track. I know how my body will react. And I also understand that stressing out about what you're eating and what you're doing is just going to cause worse things for your mental health, for your physical health, because stress is really bad for like muscle growth, muscle recovery.
Yeah.
And so if I'm going to eat it, I'm going to enjoy it. Like, I'm not going to feel bad about eating a bowl of ice cream.
Yeah.
I'm going to enjoy it and not stress about it. And I'm like, wow, that was really good.
Yeah.
Time to drink a glass of water and get back to it.
I think that's an important thing for people to hear coming from you, or just different fitness and health like professionals, because I don't know, I think a lot of people, if you don't know much about like what the different aspects of food are and what your body needs and what carbs do for you and fat do for you and protein do for you, then you're kind of just like shooting in the dark. Like, you're just hoping that what you're eating, like, it seems healthy or it whatever. And at least for me, as I've learned more from you, the urges to eat certain things have diminished entirely because it's not even like I'm trying to force myself like, oh, like, don't eat that, John. Like, oh, like, that's bad for you. Don't eat it. It's more like, since I've learned what things do, I don't want to anymore. Because I'm like, this doesn't, it tastes good for a little bit. Don't get me wrong. No
benefit.
But it doesn't serve a purpose.
Yeah.
Like Jell-O. Jell-O. Eating Jell-O. That was the first thing that popped in my mind. Something like I would eat as a kid.
Oh,
there's literally just no
like
reason.
A snack pack.
Yeah.
Wait, what's a snack?
Like a pudding
like
cup?
pudding. It's just straight up. You're just eating sugar.
Like, what are you giving these kids?
Straight up sugar.
Yeah. And it's like and that's my point is that when you learn about that, if I'm craving a snack pack, if I eaten snack packs my whole life and I really want one, but if I learn like, oh, there's literally like nothing really in this but sugar, you can still find something to satisfy a sweet craving.
Oh, yeah.
Like you can. My go-to now is there's like these JoJo's from Costco, which are dark chocolate,
but like they have like almonds and peanuts.
Yeah, and there's 8 grams of sugar.
Yeah,
and there's like 7 grams of protein or something, and it's just like it serves the same purpose for what I was craving. And I just feel like that was a way better use of everything, of money and time.
Also, Greek yogurt is such a good substitute for ice cream.
Yeah, dude.
It's like,
but ice cream's so good.
Yeah,
I can't.
But like, I've been
switch,
crushing Greek yogurt recently, and it's just been the best. And if you have some good granola, like mix up your granola, get fancy with it. Don't be afraid to spice it up,
bro. Spicy granola?
No, like not like spice up the granola. Like
Jordan puts like some cayenne pepper flakes.
Oh god,
cayenne. Sorry, one more thing. I've been drinking a bunch of kombucha lately for my gut health. The first time I went, because like I was eating hella dirty and I felt gross about myself.
Ooh.
Yeah. And I was like, you know what? Time to get my gut health back in check. Let's get back to it. I bought my Power Greens kombucha and I bought a cayenne cleanse kombucha.
Oh. Something like drinking something spicy.
And dude, that was the nastiest thing I've ever drank. And then I went out and bought a ginger lemon one right afterwards. And that's number 2.
But at least it has some lemon in it.
Yeah, and at least, and I don't know. I do feel much better. Like more my body just feels like it's absorbing the nutrients better, and I feel like I'm recovering faster. Yeah. Mental clarity feels good.
Yeah, maybe it's all psychological.
I'm also taking magnesium. My vitamin D still.
What does magnesium do?
Magnesium is so like just like a shit ton of benefits. Just name like off the top of my head. Helps a bunch with immune support, and so like fighting off diseases.
Fighting COVID.
Yeah, fighting COVID. Digestion. It helps a lot with the digestion process and absorbing the right nutrients, and also just helping it get through your gut easier, or I guess more efficiently, and not giving you an upset stomach, or the bowel movements you might have are, I guess, decreased.
Yeah.
And so magnesium also helps with mental support and function, and then
so everything,
like literally like
it's
everything.
Just really good.
Yeah, I don't know, it's really really good. And then also you said you were taking zinc. I need to start taking zinc because I'm starting to, I don't know, I'm learning about these minerals. I've been so cognizant and like focused on the macros, and it's like, oh, that's how you get big. 'Cause I've struggled with gaining muscle, and now it's like, oh, now that I'm gaining muscle, time to like fix my gut and like fix what's going on here. Because to be honest, my poops were getting so bad, like smelly, like messy, like they were uncomfortable.
Painful?
Sometimes painful, like they were uncomfortable poops.
Yeah.
And I was like, something's going on. And then I was listening to a podcast. His name's Dr. G. You can find him on Instagram.
Oh yeah, he was on the Dr. G's the guy that hosts the Peak to Middle School podcast.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
We had him on the podcast.
Yeah.
He was talking about how he loves to blend up camera lenses and eat them to get his zinc.
But he was saying that what was it?
So you were talking about gut health, and you listened to a podcast with Dr. G or Z.
Oh yeah, okay. I was listening to a podcast with Dr. G, and he was saying that the gut is essentially the second brain.
Wow.
And so like there's a shit ton of stuff going on in your gut at all times, like digestion, cleansing, and then also what you're putting in. Like I've started chewing my food more. Sorry, I'm all over the place, but I started chewing my food more because like I've also learned that digestion literally starts in your mouth. Like people always say, like, oh, saliva breaks it down, but literally, like, if you're not chewing your food, you're gonna have an upset stomach because your stomach's having a hard time digesting that big chunk of food that you just didn't chew, and so you're gonna absorb like the 20 grams of protein that was in that meal is now like 7 grams absorbed because you didn't chew the food. Your stomach couldn't absorb everything that the food had, and now you're shitting out bricks.
Yeah, I've realized, or I haven't realized, but like I don't know. That just made me think. You know, that's probably why they are part of why they say that eating fast is not good, because if you're eating really fast, you're probably not chewing enough, and then your stomach has to work hard.
I used to eat hella fast. I'm like, let me get like 1,000 calories in this meal before I get full. Like, let me just eat it all before I get full. And I'm probably absorbing like 50% of that nutrients.
Interesting.
But you're getting, don't you get more full if you eat slower, right? So you can eat less, but I guess you're absorbing more.
Yeah, but honestly, like I've been able to crush like my entire plate just by taking my time and like thinking about chewing, thinking about like how I'm swallowing, like not huge ass bites swallowing.
Not just like,
yeah, exactly.
Sometimes I do that.
I've just been changing the way I eat and like really thinking about taking care of my stomach.
Yeah. Well, something that, I don't know. I've always been very big on like, mental toughness, and, you know, part of it, it's like kind of like a joke, but at the same time, I do believe that mentally you can overcome a lot of a lot of physical things if you're mentally strong enough. And something that I wanted to talk about that it's hard for me to understand, but when you eat poorly and then you feel shitty like 30 minutes later, like people talk about like, oh, you know, if you feel bad, then it like ruins your day, or you're less productive, or things slow down. But I always come back to like, then just don't be less productive. Like, so I don't get it. Like it doesn't add up, because it's like, all right, if you eat shitty and then, so if I eat shitty and then I have to go edit, but I'm like, oh, bro, there's like a fucking thing in my stomach. Just do it anyway. Like, yeah. But like, I don't know. A lot of people are like, and I'm totally all for eating healthy. I think it definitely would make your life better if you don't feel bad. But I also don't get when they're like, oh, you know, if you eat bad, it'll stop you from doing things.
Oh, it doesn't have to. I don't get that either.
But a lot of people that don't eat well might not be as mentally strong.
Yeah, but it's like, then just don't be mentally weak. Just do it anyway, even if you don't feel good.
And that is why America has no obesity problem.
that is a deep, dark road that people are very far down, is where you eat bad and then you don't do anything, and then you continue to eat bad because you feel bad that you don't do anything, and then it's a bad cycle.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are stuck in that cycle.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to make sound like it's some easy fix to people who are struggling with like eating habits or their weight or whatever, but at the core of that concept,
you can't blame what you're eating for what you're not doing.
Yeah. Wow, I never thought that's a good way to put it.
It's like, oh yeah, you just ate a fucking Big Mac. You still have work to do. You still have 4 hours of work left.
It's also your fault that you ate it.
It's all your fault that you ate a fucking Big Mac.
Unless that's like all you can afford or something. But.
Yeah. Well, and it's going, and by no means is it going to be like, obviously it's going to make the tasks more difficult. But I guess my point is, it doesn't necessarily stop you. It's not like you eat a Big Mac and then you go blind for 40 minutes and you can't edit.
It's not going to take you out the game.
It's like, yeah. So imagine if you ate really bad, your body just literally shuts down temporarily.
You can't use your arms for like 3 hours. Just Big Mac. Can't do anything, guys.
Speaking of losing function of your limbs, I watched Iron Man last night, the original Iron Man, and there's this scene where like the villain basically, spoiler alert I guess, but it came out in 2008, so but the villain goes up behind Tony Stark when he doesn't expect it and like turns on this device thing, which I don't really know how the device works, but basically it makes you like temporarily paralyzed.
Oh yeah, I saw it. Yeah,
so Tony Stark's just like slumped in the couch with his eyes open, and I was just thinking that has got to be one of the most terrifying feelings ever, being mentally awake and
Yeah.
your eyes move, but nothing else works.
I remember
That is
seeing
sleep
that.
paralysis.
Well, I remember seeing that scene, and I'm thinking to myself, sleep paralysis / roofie, to be honest.
Oh,
Because
bro.
Tony Stark was literally like fully conscious, and like his eyes were like really, really wide open.
Yeah.
Like, you could see everything, but he like couldn't move, and I'm like,
Yeah, it's kind of the same.
yeah,
as
it's kind of
getting
the same
roofied, right?
thing.
Dude.
Is that how that works? You stay conscious?
I'm pretty
I
sure
thought
you're conscious, but like you just can't move.
God, that's horrible.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm actually curious.
I always
now.
thought you were kind of unconscious.
I just want
but
to
don't know.
see if because yeah, it is interesting. Like if when you get roofied, if you are fully conscious and aware of what's happening, or if you're kind of like awake but you're not mentally all there.
Yeah.
Um,
I kind of thought you turned into like a zombie kind of.
what happens when you get? How do you spell a roofie?
Roofie, I think.
How do you know how to spell that?
Yeah, whoa, man.
No, you're right. Wait. So is roofie technically benzodiazepine?
I guess so.
I don't fucking know.
Probably.
It says alcohol, benzodiazepines, ketamine,
Oh.
GHB.
Oh,
What's gamma hydro something acid?
Sounds horrible.
sounds terrible.
Sounds
I
bad
just
for your
want
gut
like
health.
the basic explanation of what a roofie does to you biologically, but getting roofied or having quote date rape drugs slipped into your drink can affect both your body and mind. The different types of drugs people often use in drugging cases include ropenol, which might be roofies, something like that, and then which is a part of the benzodiazepine or benzos family, and then the GHB is another one that people use. What do they do to your body? Powers explain drugs used to spike drinks often decrease your level of consciousness because they can be odorless and tasteless in alcohol. It can be hard to know if something was slipped in. If someone is unknowingly drugged, they may feel dizzy, nauseous, sleepy, confused, or have slurred speech. Muscles may also be affected, and some people even pass out.
Oh,
So I guess-
so. Kyle's right.
I think you kind of turn into a zombie or you pass out. I don't
It
think
probably
you like
depends on the
fully-
person,
Yeah,
but
I don't
yeah.
know, and how much they take. But the
Sleep
Tony Stark
paralysis?
thing is kind of like sleep paralysis, where I've never had where my eyes are open. I usually can't open my eyes, but I'm fully conscious and I can think, and I'm aware that I'm paralyzed.
But do you feel like, is that mental state, is it still sort of like partly asleep? Or is it like
Yeah, my
fully
body's
awake?
asleep. My brain's awake, but my body is asleep.
But it doesn't feel like you're in some sort of like haze of like a dream state? Or
Well,
does
it can
feel-
because I've hallucinated before. Where like I thought my aunt was calling me, and once I thought I saw two big spiders fighting in my room.
Okay.
So that's like when my eyes are kind of open, and I don't know. It's like really hard to open your eyes, but it's weird because it's a mental state, and all I have to do is get all of the willpower I have to move, and then I move and I'm awake, and that's
so
interesting.
weird.
It's really scary.
I never want to experience
I
that.
don't like it.
Yeah, we've been golfing recently.
We have been golfing a lot. We're not very good. Not at all.
But I feel like at the early stage is probably when you see the most improvement.
Yeah, we
we're-
have all grown a lot. Actually,
Yeah.
mostly you and me. We've grown a lot.
I mean, I don't know.
Well, for the first time, you could barely hit a ball consistently.
Yeah. It's probably
You're
the same
making
way where like
contact.
when you first start lifting, you can add like weight
Yeah.
very quickly. But then once you get like, I feel like Kyle's kind of getting to the point where
Plateau.
not necessarily, but it's
Nah.
going to be harder to
Well,
improve.
that's kind of how weightlifting goes. I like telling people, like people who are just starting weightlifting or fitness. It's like, yeah, you're gonna get results really fast, and then you're gonna hit a plateau like 4 months in, and you're gonna be like, God damn it, I can't. I'm having a hard time losing weight or losing fat, and then I can't get up in weight. You know, like my squats are staying the same, my bench press is staying the same, and that's when you just gotta change your training style, like more time on the way down, you know, or like pause reps. And you gotta change it, but
So I gotta change the way I'm golfing.
yeah, exactly. But like
Only driver.
No, results come really fast in the early stages of I think a lot of things.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's probably why people can get so into it, is because it is a good
Yeah.
feeling when you know,
Yeah.
like literally if you're really skinny, if you in 1 month, if you ate a good amount of like and all the macros you needed and you worked out like 5 days a week, you'd see like a ton of changes in a month even.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And that's wild that it only,
It's kind of like us with golf too, you know?
yeah.
Well,
No,
yeah.
like I'm piping drives now.
Well,
Left and right, not straight.
that's the thing about golf though, is like all you need is one shot to be like, whoa.
And then you're hooked back in.
Yeah.
And like, I'm good.
You'll have some bad shots, and then you'll just hit a beauty, and you're like, there's something here. I got something here.
Yeah. I do want to talk about golf more, but I don't want to forget. And this was something that I've wanted to ask on the podcast to Shim for a while now. So I guess the first part of my question is more of like, this is like a multi-layered thing, but in your opinion, what are like if you had to kind of break down fitness into like groups, like I'll give an example, but maybe you can like clarify, but in my head, there's like athletic training, which is for sports people and people who want to be athletic. There's like maybe like endurance training or people who aren't trying to build any strength, more like really long distance runners or marathon runners, like their training's way different. And then there's also like, you know, bodybuilding type thing where it's not necessarily you're trying to be a bodybuilder, but something where, you know,
Powerlifting.
Yeah, then there's also powerlifting, and then the bodybuilding thing is more
just like for shows, like trying to like get bigger, but like not necessarily like push a bunch of weight, but just like increase size.
Yeah, visually you want to look a certain way, and it's not for any particular goal. First of all, would you say you do fall into the athletic training? Is that your preference as opposed to the powerlifting or all the other stuff?
Absolutely. I like. If I could, in my perfect world, if I could be a trainer for anybody, it'd be like a college or pro sports team, whether it be like, I don't even care if it's like soccer, baseball, basketball, football.
Mariners,
baby.
Yeah, let's go.
In my perfect world, I would be an athletic trainer for a team, individual training is cool, but I don't know, because in high school, when we did like team training, there was just something about it that I loved.
Yeah. It's a great feeling when
really
like everyone
feeling.
Music's blasting.
Yeah.
There's like 40 guys and you're all yelling at each other.
That's like where you build chemistry, like 30% of your chemistry, and then the other part's on the field and practice.
Okay, so that's the first part, but then like you'll post a lot about on your story like different, you know, useful tips or accounts that do mobility things. Or the other day you were posting about how like Cam Newton was working on his like hip mobility and that's super awesome. Like I think that more people, and I think part of what's cool with your account is like people realize that, hey, everybody should be doing functional training.
Yeah.
But and I agree. Then the question is, do you think that like if someone's like goal is not to play sports, like if they don't, because for me personally, I don't really care to like play many sports as an adult. Like I don't care to get a higher vertical or to be quicker.
Bro, we need to win a rec basketball league.
What are you talking about?
Our men's basketball league's counting on you.
No, that's what I'm saying though. Like just for what I value, I've realized in the last 2 years of like learning fitness and learning from you, I find it much more rewarding just the visual aspect.
Yeah,
and like
that's completely
and
fine.
like, but in objectively, do you feel like, I don't know, I guess the question is it bad if someone doesn't really want, like I know that for your own health you should focus on mobility and this functional training, but like if someone doesn't want to be an athlete, is there a way that you can focus on like only getting bigger but also keep your, you know, your body healthy and the joints healthy? Or is it kind of like you have to, like, can you be absolutely fucking huge and like visually look a certain way and also have all these healthy aspects of functional training that you take pride in?
There's some bodybuilders who have crazy mobility, like they can do the splits and they just have thunder thighs. I think mobility, that's not necessarily functional training, like functional. I think that translates well to athletics and what you do on the court and field, but it's not necessary. But I think mobility training, like joint training, very necessary for whatever you want to do. Because like just daily activities, you're going to need full range of motion. You're going to need strong joints, like picking up a heavy bag from behind you in the back seat, putting it into the passenger seat, like that's your shoulder right there. And you need full range of motion. You're going to need to know how your joint's going to need to know how to move in that capsule in order to not hurt yourself. Like my mom, I think she like hurt her rotator cuff literally doing that same exact thing.
That's how I used to dislocate my shoulders.
Yeah,
and a lot of people
putting a shirt on
can never do a move like that, even just reaching to the back seat and moving something forward.
Yeah, and so I think mobility training and like flexibility and all that, it's very important in no matter what you want to do. You don't necessarily have to do like functional training, like single leg stuff and like explosive box jumps and all that. But mobility, like stretching your hips, getting better range of motion in your shoulders, like I think it's very necessary. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And so I don't know. I don't know. I like the different, I follow a bunch of different fitness people, and there's like YouTube channels I'm subscribed to and stuff. And it's just, as an outsider, the feeling I get is that it seems like, I don't know, they make it sound like it's either one or the other sometimes, that like, or it makes it seem like it's that functional training and like athletic training is just like better. But I don't know, in my opinion, it seems like I totally agree that everyone should be doing mobility and keeping their body healthy. But it's like, don't you think it depends on whatever your goal is for what you're trying to achieve?
I just think there needs to be a healthy balance. Like mobility can be a warm up or a cool down, but just to have that joint capacity and that space in the joint for it to move. Like if say you did bench press every day, or not every day, but like every week, and you never did any joint training or like joint strength training, mobility training, your shoulders are going to be like, you're going to have a hunchback because all you did for like 3 months straight was just press and press and press. And now your shoulders are like this. And now when you try and open up, your chest is so tight.
That's what happened to me.
That's my issue right now.
And your shoulders are way too tight. And so you can't even get in good posture because your muscles are so used to being hunched forward.
Yeah.
And you can get big like that, no doubt, but you won't be able to be as big, I guess, like in the big scheme of things, in your fullest potential. You won't be able to get your biggest size because your muscle fibers are literally shortened all the time.
So everything's connected.
Yeah, everything's connected. So I think there needs to be a healthy balance, but no, you don't need to do mobility like I do, like 3 times a day, twice a day, in order to reach your goals if you just want to be like a bodybuilder or just want to run.
Yeah. Because I like when I see, sometimes I'll see, you know, a certain account where they're doing like some really, like it looks like a really hard workout and intense. And there's just times where I'm like, I'm sure that's really good for like my stabilization and, you know, my quick muscle fibers. But I'm like, but like, I don't care for that.
You don't.
So like
a lot of
why
people
would I want to spend my time doing these certain particular exercises if my only goal is just to look bigger? Then like why? But then I feel bad because I'm like, oh, I'm like that. I feel bad even thinking that. Like, I don't know, it's weird. I'm like, oh yeah, I should take care of my body, but if my only goal is to get bigger, then a lot of these things seem like kind of useless.
Yeah. And like for those videos, like for like the fast twitch muscle fibers, it all comes with perspective. For like those athletes that are training, they need that fast twitch. And so I wouldn't say like you would need that, but other stuff that they do, like I saw like Chris Carson, like an NFL running back, and then Will Fuller, NFL receiver, like they were doing like a bunch of hip stuff, just like not even with weight. They were just like doing mobility, like hip strengthening stuff, because the stronger your joints are and the more range of motion they have to move, like you'll be able, I can't really like describe how or why, but like I've seen it in my own fitness journey. The more mobility you have, the deeper you can go into a squat or whatever, and the more control you have over that range of motion, like you can just put on weight like so fast because you have the correct form and the right muscles are firing. And so, yeah, I mean, like a lot of the things they do, I admit, like the band push up with the chains on the back, and like you have like 1 foot off the ground, and I was like,
you're on a yoga ball.
Yeah, you were in a yoga ball. Like Kyle and I were watching that. I was like, dude, this is so unnecessary.
Yeah, and
I hate that shit.
It's stuff like that where I don't know, or just I don't know. And sometimes this isn't to say that anything about the way you train is like the way you train is amazing, but there's times where I'm like it's such a big time like when you work out, it's a time commitment.
Oh yeah.
When you go to the gym, it's like, you know, I spend probably an hour and a half to 2 hours at the gym, and part of that is like, you know, mobility and stretching and warming up.
Yeah.
But like I don't know. It's just something where I feel like unless you're doing it professionally or you're trying to do it professionally, it's like it just seems like you can't do it all. Like if I'm trying to get bigger, how am I going to have the time for the mobility
that's what
and
Kyle
then the functional
was
training?
saying last night. He was foam rolling. He's like, God damn it! There's so many muscles in the body. He's like,
everything hurts.
yeah. Kyle like rolled that one hip flex. He's like, I gotta do the other one, and I gotta do the calf, and I gotta do the quad and the hamstrings.
It's just so
much.
much.
That's just my lower body.
It is a lot, and to that I would say, you don't have to do mobility every day if like getting big is your goal, and like if you feel good, then you don't have to do mobility. I wouldn't say you have to do mobility, but get a proper warm up in at least. But for me, the pain in my knees, the pain in my ankles, the hip pain, the tightness in my lower back, like everything has diminished and almost gone away because of the consistency of my mobility and like the stretching I do. And so
for you, it's worth it.
For me,
it's
worth it. Yeah. And so like if you're out there wondering about, oh, should I do mobility or should I start running a mile a day or should I start lifting? Like, whatever your goal is, do what's best for that. Just know mobility training, like putting in the time to stretch, is really gonna benefit you. But not to say like you should do it 3 hours a day and make it your first priority. No, because like if you want to run a marathon, I wouldn't say stretch for 3 hours a day.
Yeah.
Like start fucking running.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, if you're gonna run a marathon, I actually run.
Yeah, actually
we didn't do that enough.
Actually train.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I'm glad that we talked about that, because that's something that for a while, it's not like it like bothers me, but I've had this question of like
what to do, like how am I gonna attack all of these aspects of training and mobility
and just being a healthy person, but trying to balance everything.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it, and that's honestly like why I've become more passionate about it over the past couple months. It's just like I've started learning more and more about like what the human body can do. Like you got to pay attention to the gut, pay attention to your cardiovascular system, pay attention to, how you're lifting weights in your form, and like, don't forget to stretch and do mobility and foam roll. And it's
sleep.
Like, and sleep a good amount, and like
so much to keep track of,
and drink enough water. And it's like, all that's overwhelming to me, but at the same time, it's also so interesting to me. It's like, I need to, because there's an answer to everything. There's an actual answer. Like, it's not like a math problem where it's like, oh, well, how'd you get that answer? Because this equation. Well, who made that equation? Oh, this professor. Where the fuck did they get that equation from? I don't know, but that's the equation. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. But like, oh, it's the human body, and this connects to that, and this connects to that, and you're tight here because you're sitting like this all day, and you're hunched over. Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's got a body addiction.
I got a body addiction.
No, it is. It's fascinating.
Yeah.
And what's really cool is there's probably still a lot of things that they don't know about the human body that over the next, 30 years, there will probably be certain things they discover that Shim is going to be hyped about. He's going to be like, holy shit.
They're actually coming out with these new studies on like how icing might not be the best thing for muscle growth and recovery.
Like ice baths, or specifically like icing an ankle?
Like ice and ankle and like recovering for that, because one, it reduces inflammation for a reason, because it stops blood flow. And like, yeah, that's good for inflammation maybe for the first day, but you want to get new blood moving in there, and you want to get that joint moving again. You don't want to stiffen it up and just, because the whole rice thing, like rest, ice, compress and elevate.
Oh, I never even heard that. Is that that's like a common thing with athletes, or if you get injured?
Yeah. And so, it's just been a huge thing that's been coming out recently. It's like, icing might not be the best thing if you're trying to grow muscle, and like trying to do this.
Huh. Do you utilize like saunas and steam rooms, or are you not really?
I used to a lot, and I feel like I should start again.
Those things always just make me feel so good.
It's like, dude, so good.
Yeah.
Like when I leave, I'm obviously drenched, but like something about it makes me feel like.
And I don't know if it
looser.
works this way, but I feel like I sweat out all the toxins. I just feel like so good.
Yeah, you feel new after.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this was. I mean, I know that like a lot of our listeners are middle school and high school kids, and I know there's been quite a few people that have messaged Shim.
Yeah.
Over the and. I don't know. I think talking about fitness and health and stuff, at least every once in a while on PIMS, is cool. Because
No, I do enjoy it because I do get a lot of DMs, and I hope what I say makes sense and helps. And just know, like, take what I say with a grain of salt, because what I have done for my fitness journey might be different for what your goals are and like what you want to do. But yeah, it's always fun coming on here talking about fitness. I like fitness.
I think everyone can learn something, whether or not you want to be just a weightlifter or anything. There's something you can take away from, whether it's doing mobility, maybe it's eating better, whatever. I think everyone can get a little bit healthier in the body department.
Yeah.
Just know the gut is the second brain.
Okay. Well, there you
Work
have
on
it.
that gut.
Okay. Should we hop into the segments?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Today we have. What do we have? A&F.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was actually waiting. I was hoping this was the A&F episode.
Hell yeah. Okay. And then, wait, is it the championship for our bracket?
It is the championship.
Oh!
We can save that for the grand finale.
Big,
Okay.
Big episode.
Kyle, who's your A this week?
Okay, my A this week is once again the Mariners division, because now it spells ass hat.
Ass hat.
It was like Astros, and then it was all based on the hats. So it was like, there was the A's, the Mariners, the Astros, the Angels, and then the Rangers. But
So like on their hat, it had like
ASHAT if you put them in order.
like their uniform hat, like their logo.
So like the A's have an A, the Mariners
But
have an S.
it was sloth before. And
Yeah, but
there's
that was
where did the
the sloth was from the first letters of the cities. Seattle, Los Angeles, Oakland,
it's a pretty
Texas,
big reach.
Houston.
It's a pretty big reach.
Okay.
Now it's the logos on the hats. It spells ass hat. It goes the A's, and then the Mariners has an S, and then Houston has an H, and then Los Angeles has an A, and then Texas has a T.
Wow.
People are just looking for something to root for.
So that's my A.
So we're in second in terms of the lettering of the hats.
ass hat. Yeah.
Cool.
Ass hat.
Uh-huh.
That's awesome. Go
Yeah.
Mariners.
Go M's, baby.
Cool.
That's right this week.
My A this week is a 71-year-old woman survived getting hit by a turtle that flew through her windshield. So
Okay.
a Florida woman
Yeah.
survives being hit by a flying turtle, and her daughter says, quote, "I swear to God, this lady has the worst luck of anyone in the world." Basically, she was driving down the highway, and a turtle flew through her window and smashed her in the face.
Oh my god.
Where does the turtle come from?
I don't know.
You didn't read the
I
article.
mean, you want me? I guess I can. Yeah, I should probably find out.
I mean, I want to know
Just launches a turtle.
why else is a turtle
all right,
flying?
let's see.
Is the turtle okay though?
There's no way.
I don't know. A 71-year-old woman was driving with her daughter on Florida's Interstate 95, suffered a gashed forehead Wednesday when a turtle smashed through the windshield of their car, striking her.
Right in the face.
Is that the 70-year-old woman?
Yeah, 71-year-old got hit with it. Oh, is that?
Yeah. Oh never
No,
mind.
that's an ad.
Pay zero interest.
The daughter pulled over to get help from another motorist. So these are some quotes. "There's a turtle in there." "A turtle?" the daughter exclaimed. "An actual turtle?" The gash drew a lot of blood. The woman was not seriously hurt. The turtle was likely crossing the interstate and got knocked into the air by another vehicle.
Oh my.
How does it get like picked up though?
I don't know. I think it just,
I think-
caught an edge and
it just caught an edge.
Caught the edge
flipped
of
out
the wheel,
trunk.
did like a little flip, and then just.
Yeah. The
Bro,
turtle,
that
on the other
sucks.
hand, had the best luck of anything. It had just a few scratches on its shell.
Yes.
And it was released into the nearby woods.
Yes. Yes.
I can't believe that. That's awesome.
I mean, their shells are
Yeah,
pretty
He probably
fucking
just
strong. It's
Immediately tucked inside. He was probably just flying like.
Yeah, just flying disc.
what a weird animal.
Yeah, what a weird existence
That
that
they
would
just-
be.
Turtles, otters, and dolphins, just awesome.
Yeah.
Otters, huh?
Those are my water
I
animals.
like otters.
My land mammals or land animals are gorillas and lions.
And sloths.
in Sloss.
Yeah. Okay, Kyle, who fit? Or wait, do you have an
Actually,
A?
I have an
off
A.
the dome?
Oh,
A is me.
okay.
Because yesterday, I bought LeBron James shoes.
Oh.
They're called the Arnold Palmers.
Did you have to? Was that one of those things where you have to like sign up for a wait list or something?
Oh, I did, and I didn't get it. And then I went on footlocker.com and they had a
Oh,
pair. And so I
nice.
spent a lot of money on shoes I didn't need. But that's,
Nice.
How much did they
A
cost?
for you.
They were like $180 after tax.
Yo, I was. Is it worth? Probably. Wait,
I don't
are
know
they
if it's
for
worth
like?
it. I kind of regretted it this morning, but I was like, you know what?
I just don't think I'd wear them enough.
Yeah, what are they meant for? Are they casual? Are they lifting? Are they basketball?
They're gonna be. I was thinking about it. I was planning on having them casual, but they might be my indoor basketball shoes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was listening to something about how, like, it's not proven because it's in China and that there's a lot of like, struggles with trying to figure out what's real and what's not in China. But from my
But everything's
understanding,
made in China.
yeah, and from my understanding, it's likely that Nike's, like most of Nike's products are made at least in part with slave labor.
Yeah, I've heard that.
And then they were like, so if a ton of Nike's products are made from slave labor, then why the fuck are all their stuff so goddamn expensive? Like, if they're using slave labor and they're selling shoes for $180, but it costs them like fucking $5 to make, like
That's how
that
they make
is
so much money.
I
They
know,
make
but
a
that's
shit ton
fucked.
of money. I'm invested in their stock, but
Wow, you support slave labor, dude?
I guess
Wow.
so. But I feel like I bet you 50% of the shoe money goes to whatever athlete, like because it's their shoe, and then like probably another 20% goes somewhere else to like the higher ups. And
Even
then
if you're LeBron, though, like you really feel good knowing that slaves
Oh,
are making
probably
your
not.
shoes. Like,
Yeah. I feel like a lot of the people, though, it's just like, if they can't, like, this is fucked, but to a lot of people, if they can't see it, it doesn't exist.
yeah, no, definitely.
And it's terrible, but it's also like, well, this actually relates perfectly to my F of the week, because my F
Okay.
is about China.
Okay, you want to say it?
China launched a rocket into orbit the other day, and it was successful. Like, it's now, there's, a rocket in orbit, which was awesome. That's cool. But what happened that they didn't mean to happen was that the launcher itself, so like the thing that the missile was used to launch out of, also went into orbit, which was not supposed to happen.
Oh, shit.
And this is actually fucking terrifying. The launcher is the size of a 10-story building. It's I don't know how many tons. I think they said like 40 tons or something in weight. It's the size of a 10-story building. It's orbiting, but it is, I don't know the science behind it, but basically it's going to fall down to Earth, and they don't know where it's going to land. And the guy said it's going to happen within the next 2 weeks.
Oh,
A
shit.
10-story building is going to fall out of orbit. And they don't. They said it could essentially. There's two lines, like at the very. When you're looking at the globe, like a flat map of the Earth.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, flat Earth?
Yeah, flat Earth. Yeah.
Yeah.
So in the very bottom, there's like a tiny chunk where it won't land, and in the very top, there's a tiny chunk where it won't land.
Okay.
But he's like, anywhere in between there, it could potentially land. So anybody could just get smashed by a fucking skyscraper. And
It's not really a skyscraper. It's more of like a, small business building. But
Yeah.
still, yeah.
Dude.
like, no one's freaking out about this?
Wait, why?
But think
how
about the
can
chances, though. It's very unlikely.
You sent a 10-story building up into space, but we're still struggling with the consistency of sending a rocket into space.
I should just Google this so that
Yeah, well,
we know that this is accurate and not.
clearly they are still struggling with it because they sent the
imagine,
whole
though,
wrong
like-
part into space.
Yeah.
That would come as fast. That would come down to Earth as fast as an asteroid.
Yeah.
Okay. This was posted 1 day ago. Huge rocket looks set for uncontrolled re-entry following Chinese space station launch.
Great.
So, yeah. At
I mean-
some point it's going to... But that's like...
Just fair catch it.
This is just like...
We need
Is
a
this
superhero.
not... I don't know. To me, this is one of the craziest things in a while. Imagine...
This is out of a movie
Like, that-
for sure.
Imagine if that landed in downtown Seattle, smashed through
The Ferris
fucking
wheel.
like 5 buildings and killed
Yeah, but
4,000 people. That's crazy.
but think about. Well, it's not gonna kill 4,000 people of one building.
Well, if it's 10 stories, like that's a 10-story building is pretty long.
Yeah, but that's assuming. I feel like people might be overplaying this though.
No, because if you think about it, how fast is that thing coming down to Earth? It's going to create it's going to create a crater at least.
All right, but I'm just saying our Earth is already 70% water.
Yeah.
So it's already only 30% chance that it even hits land, and then there's the chance of all the land of like it's gonna knock it. Like I can bet my entire life it's not gonna land in Seattle. I'm knocking hard on wood.
Bet your entire life.
But I mean,
it lands
think
in,
about the.
It could land
North
anywhere.
Korea.
Hope it lands in China.
Well, it could. It could land anywhere.
That would be fitting. That would
Imagine
be
if
pretty
it
fitting.
lands on like their Capitol building or something.
Literally the building that they sent it out of.
It's gonna land on like North Korea, start a war on accident.
So, yeah, that's my F. I'm scared now every time I go to sleep.
Well, my F is scary in a different way.
What a way to go out, though. You know?
Yeah, just getting dropped on
By a building.
Okay, my F this week. This is an A, kind of, if it's like cool, but it's gonna suck. There's gonna be a shit ton of cicadas coming around this month on the East Coast, like trillions of cicadas.
Those are a type of tree?
No,
What are
cicadas are
cicadas?
bugs.
Oh, I thought that was like a plant. What's a cicada?
It's a little flying bug thing.
Okay, and why are there going to be so many of them?
So there's a ton of broods that on the East Coast and like Midwest kind of areas, they burrow underground, and every 17 years, I think, this brood 10 comes back
What's
up.
a brood? What are you saying?
That's like a group
a
of
brood?
Yeah, brood.
Okay.
It's whatever. It's a brood. I don't know.
So it's like a mob of these bugs.
So these
Yeah,
bugs.
so they're gonna come up, and they're gonna be up May through the end of June on the East Coast and in the Midwest, and there are potentially trillions. And they said it's gonna fuck things up for a while.
My
And
Lord.
last time that this specific brood has popped up was 2004, so we don't really remember it. But yeah, so it's gonna be you're gonna be seeing a lot of things on the East Coast
with
about
like bugs just swarming.
cicadas, and apparently they're super loud with their wings too. So it's
So
super
they're like
disruptive,
almost
yeah.
like mosquito type bugs.
They're bigger.
Like
my
flying
God.
beetles.
Yeah, they're like flying beetles. They're like this big.
God. Fuck that, bro.
Well, we're good over here. We're good in
Yeah, but
Washington.
that is disgusting.
Yeah, I know, and it's coming.
They burrow underground.
yeah,
and they
so
they come up every 17 years.
yeah.
Why do they?
Apparently
Why
they're
do they
super
burrow
loud.
underground for 17
Wait,
years?
I don't know. There's a bunch of different broods though, so I was looking at a map. There's a brood that comes up every year, but this one's like the really really big one that comes up every 17 years somehow.
You said potentially trillions.
Yeah,
I
it
just want
has
people
for
to realize
sure billions,
like,
potentially
If
trillions.
you looked outside, you would see black.
Yeah,
That is trillions.
that's like 999 billion plus another billion.
yeah. So it's like it's like the Northeast and Midwest-ish areas,
dude.
and a little further south. We're okay. We're good over here.
Yeah, that's
But-
just crazy.
Yeah,
Why,
it's gonna suck.
I'm just curious. What are they doing underground for 17 years?
burrowing, breeding, waiting.
Yeah, just having lots
Oh my
of sex.
God.
It's like their big sweet 16
There's
birthday.
no,
you
and
know?
there's just no.
But
There's
17.
nothing you can do because if we start spraying the air, it's just gonna pollute the air.
Yeah, you can't do anything.
You
just,
can't do anything.
It's natural. It's part of.
Dude, imagine like
environment.
you didn't know they were gonna come out that night and you like left a window open and then at 4 a.m. you just get thousands of them swarming
my
your house.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like I've been reading a lot of things about this, and it seems like they're going to be pretty disruptive. I don't know how much. Like I don't know if you just
Businesses
can't
open.
drive. I don't know if it's gonna be that bad. Maybe in some areas it could be like for 6 hours while they're flying through, we're gonna shut down. But I don't know. There's gonna be some like probably baseball delays and stuff like that, like cicadas in Cleveland
Oh
or something. Because in Cleveland every year they always have these bugs that come around, these gnats. So there's a famous game where there was just a shit ton of these bugs flying all around the stadium. It was the Yankees and the Indians. And
Dude.
Jabba Chamberlain's on the mound, and he's just got bugs all over his face, and he's pitching.
Oh my!
It's disgusting.
God.
All right. Well, Shim, do you have an F?
Yeah, my F is Kyle.
What?
So my A was me. My F is Kyle.
Cool.
Because, like imagine.
What?
Imagine being
So
Kyle.
if you're watching this on YouTube, imagine this is a thermometer.
Okay, so Jordan's holding up
Right.
a pen.
This is
and
like a this is like
Okay.
a this is like a thermometer, like a food thermometer, right?
yeah.
This, if you take the cap off, this is like the thing you stick into the food, right?
Yeah.
Kyle one night made something in the oven, and he's like, "Yo, I don't know if this is done or not." I'm like, "Hey, just take the temp of it. I hand him the thermometer, and he sticks it in, and he's trying to jam it into the rotisserie chicken
with the cap on.
With the cap on, and he's like, I don't know why it's not fitting. And I'm like, dude,
You know,
and I go over, I just take the fucking cap off and stick it in the fucking chicken.
sometimes you just make mistakes.
And I'm like, that'd be like trying to write with a pen with this cap on.
Yeah.
Well, in my
do
defense,
you want to defend yourself?
there's not much defense I could have. I didn't really try. Yeah.
Did
it's
you
a
just
bad
not
look.
realize that it was a cap
I
at
didn't
all?
realize
But, like,
I
it
thought it looked
wasn't-
weird. I was like, this is a pretty thick thermometer.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I don't even know the last time, if ever, I've used a food thermometer. Maybe on Thanksgiving one year. So
Yeah, but
I
it's
wouldn't
like
really
a-
know what it looks
It's
like.
like a silver thing, right? With the pointy end.
Yeah.
As
Like,
soon as you pulled it out, I was like, okay, I'm dumb. But,
Yeah.
you know, I didn't
It was
know.
just like a black cover of a cap, and it clearly just
it still showed me the
it clearly
degrees. so-
wasn't the thermometer.
hey, well, did you guys get sick from that chicken?
No.
No.
There you go.
I
You're
crushed
fine.
it all.
Dude, you ever eat a piece of meat where you like, as you're eating it, you're like, I don't know if this is like, this might be undercooked, but I'm just gonna commit anyways.
Chicken's the grossest thing to be under.
Yeah.
Bro, I ate chicken that looking back, it was
Ugh.
definitely undercooked the other week. But like,
Was it good?
no, it was like, it felt like rubbery kind of.
Ew.
And
Ugh.
but, like part of it was cooked, but then like deeper into it, it wasn't cooked all the
Yep.
way.
Yep.
And after I took like 3 bites, I was like, all right, I got to stop eating this. And then the whole night I was just waiting for, but like, how does your body not get sick? Is it just kind of a luck of the draw? Like, could you eat a whole thing of raw chicken and not get
I think
sick
if you ate a whole thing, you would get sick.
no matter what?
I mean, you might get sick, but you might not get like E. coli or salmonella.
Yeah.
okay.
But there's
it's just
probably
kind of
some rando chickens that have some like E. coli shit in there.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was really gross, but thankfully I didn't get sick. So
Shout out to your gut health.
Shout out gut health.
there we go. All right,
Oh.
shit.
Championship shit.
All right. So,
The
this
worst championship ever.
is the finals of this is the battle bracket, which essentially means whatever wins this matchup is the greatest thing to ever be made ever.
Impressive.
Not really.
Okay, so Jordan added his own twist on this. So originally it was going to be waking up to a nice unexpected text versus sun after hella rain. Both of which are great feelings.
Great feelings.
But for the sake of, making things interesting, Jordan has added in waking up to a nice unexpected sext.
okay, that's good. But my thing with that though is, would you want to wake up to like I have no complaints waking up to that, but would you rather wake up to that or get that at night? You know?
Would you rather get, hey, good morning, I hope you have a good day, or hey, baby, I'm
Here's
so
my
horny,
tits.
come here and fuck my brains out?
Well, if you texted me that, I would be very concerned. Well, I don't know, because it doesn't mean the nice texting. To me, it's not just like, hey, I hope you have a good day, because like I don't give a fuck. It's more something like something a little more special, you know.
Yeah.
Because if it's someone random, just like, hey, I hope you have a good day.
Yeah,
like-
some random guy from high school you haven't talked
Yeah,
to.
it's like that's very nice, but I'd rather have sun. You know, I'd just rather have a better text.
Yeah. You know what sucks is like getting really horny in a scenario where you just can't be horny right now. You ever had that where you're like,
In
High school
class.
social studies?
well, yeah, but like, or if you're just, like one time in college, I had a presentation in an English class, but my presentation, like I was one of the last people to go, but like,
You got like the nervous horny?
also that day was the day that I was leaving, to come back home, and I was very horny, and the whole class I was just sitting there like so ready to just like fucking have sex, and I couldn't focus on my
You
presentation.
just have a raging boner on your presentation.
Bro, no, not during the presentation, but before and after. Yo, it's pretty cool how the body like
Penis nose.
you ever like have a raging boner and you like really need it to go away like right now?
It will.
it will at the right when you need
second,
it
at
to.
the last second.
Clutch up. Just,
Yeah, the body's kind of remarkable. Gut health.
yeah. Okay, so what do we think?
Oh, so I don't know, Jordan. What are you picking? Would you rather wake up to some titties, or it's been really cold and dark and depressing for 4 months, and then it's beautiful
And the
out?
sun's out, which means your guns can come out.
Dude,
Which means you could get potential
talked about
sex
this. I've
later
talked
on.
about this to some people, like some of my coworkers. And dude, sun. I'd have to pick sun because
Yeah.
we talk about it. It's like, oh, we're so much happier and so much more engaged with our clients or like training when the sun's out, or like, and everyone who comes in the gym is in just a better mood. Like, oh, hey, good afternoon, like blah blah blah, and they leave in a better mood. Like they're leaving to go out into the sun. Like they just got their sweat
Yeah.
on. I can't imagine feeling that 365 days of the year.
I know.
Like, if I
Yes.
fucking lived in like
No
Texas
idea.
or Arizona or California, like I
Yeah.
can't imagine feeling that good every morning, every day of the year.
Yeah.
That is unknown to me. I am used to depression for at least 6 months of the year,
Dude,
Yeah, it's like 6 to 8 months of just
Like,
depression.
And then like it takes me a little bit, like, oh, spring, it's still a little rainy, still a little cold, got the breeze, and then summer's like a month and a half. I'm like, oh, I'm peaked. I am peak Jordan right now.
Yeah.
And then like September comes back around, and I'm like, oh,
Back to depression.
bro, us like Washingtonians, and all you guys who live in like the UK, we just like become adapted to being like depressed, but just like being okay with it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And just like kind of your whole life adapts
It's
to
like,
that, where
you
you
know-
know that the next 4 months are gonna suck.
Yeah. It's like, you know how good you feel with the sun? You're allowed to feel like that every day, you know? You're allowed to feel like that.
Yeah, it feels like a treat.
It's
really a
it
treat when the
really
sun's
does
out
feel like
here.
a treat.
Dude, that's why like when I was talking to Chris and he was like, yeah, he really wants to live in Arizona like long term, just because there's so much like golf down there.
Yeah.
And, it's just so nice, and
Sun.
it's really made me think like, I don't know if I want to live in Seattle forever, because
Yeah.
how nice would that be to like basically the whole year you just feel how we feel during the summer,
Yep.
but all the time.
The sun's always going to come out. You don't have to worry about, a cloudy, rainy morning when it's 32 degrees.
And it's dark,
And
it's
it's-
only bright for like 6 hours
It's
of the
bright.
day.
It's bright from like 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. and then it's dark by 4:30.
It's not even bright either.
It's not. Yeah,
It's just like a gray filter. God.
Yeah, but anyway.
I think the sun's our
sun
champion.
after hella rain.
I'm just going to write
Damn.
sun.
Holy shit, guys.
The sun is the greatest thing in the world.
sun.
Actually, technically, it's not, because it's not in the world. It's the greatest thing in the universe.
Yeah, whoa.
Greatest thing in our solar system.
Yeah. Shout out to Sun.
Shout out to the sun.
to
So
Sun.
this whole segment has all led up to us saying that the sun is really cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. There you have it. We now have another bracket to throw up on the wall.
Great.
Yeah, if you guys have any other ideas for we haven't done a whole like bracket episode in a while, so we could do one of those.
Maybe we
sometime
could
soon.
do a worst things of all time.
Oh.
Or most
Ooh,
average things
a
of all
worst-
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay. Well, guys, thank you all so much for listening. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode with Shim. We haven't had a guest in a while, and I don't know. These are always like
Felt good.
really fun.
I hope you learned something today.
Yeah, I'm sure all you guys learned at least something.
There's always something to learn in a PIMS episode.
Yeah, and we're gonna try and get Willig on here soon too, so be on the lookout. But yeah, new episodes every Monday and Thursday. Kyle, where can they follow you?
At Kyle Stafford 36. Follow the podcast at PIMS Podcast, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Merch at PIMS.store if you like this super cool hat that I got on, / the one that John's turning around as we speak. That's the exact
Gang
same hat.
shit.
Yes.
Yeah. We got hats, we got shirts, we got sweatshirts.
Check
Be
it
on the
out.
lookout.
Shim, where can they follow you?
Jason Fit on Instagram. And also, if you haven't already, you should leave a review on the Apple Podcast.
Yes, rate us 5 stars and write something nice. It'll take you like 10 seconds.
Yeah, Luke.
Yeah,
Luke. Famous actor Luke.
He'll probably click off the episode during
Yeah,
the
no
outro,
chance
so
he-
he'll never hear that.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you all so much, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.
See ya.
Peace.